Good morning and good afternoon, depending where you are in the world at the moment, and welcome to this pre-arrival presentation on behalf of Visa and International Support. My name's Peter Scott and I'm one of the International Support Officers at Edinburgh Napier University. First of all, we're delighted that you've chosen to study with Edinburgh Napier University. Now, we know studying abroad is exciting, but we also are aware that it can be quite challenging. If it's your first time away from your family, and especially if it's your first time away abroad, overseas, then we know it can be quite daunting. So we have prepared this presentation with your needs in mind, and it's essentially designed to answer practical questions you might have about living and studying at Edinburgh Napier University and in the UK. So first things, your offers. You should either have a conditional or an unconditional offer. If you've got a conditional offer, it means you've been offered a place, but you must meet specified conditions. It might be an educational document, it could be a reference from a previous employer, or maybe a portfolio of artwork. Once you've got these in place and you've sent that to our admissions team, so you've met the specified conditions, then they will be able to make your conditional offer unconditional. Once it's unconditional, that means you've met all the entry requirements and you've then got a secure place on your chosen course. When this happens, do make sure that you accept it. Some people do wait a while before accepting. If you don't accept the unconditional offer, we don't know that you want to come and study with us. So do make sure you actually accept the unconditional offer. And also you need to accept the conditional offer too. Once you've received your unconditional offer, you can then pay your initial minimum £3,500 deposit towards your course fees. If you want to make a higher payment than that, you can do so, but £3,500 is the minimum you have to pay in order for us to issue your CAS, or your confirmation of acceptance for studies. I would suggest that you advise admissions when you've made payment. Our fees team don't always tell our admissions teams that our student has paid. So just make sure, just a quick email to the UG or PG admissions just to say that you have now paid your deposit. As I say, they won't issue that CAS until they know that's been paid. So getting your visa. Just remember, students from the EU, Switzerland or the EEA do not require a visa to study. So only some students need a Tier 4 visa, and it's anyone basically outside of the EU. Obviously those people and don't have a visa. If you've got a dependent visa, maybe a Tier 2 visa, that kind of thing, indefinite leave to remain, then obviously you won't require a Tier 4 visa to study with us. And it does depend on the length of your course. If you're on a course of 6 months or less, then you could apply for a short-term study visa. This is slightly less complicated to apply for than a Tier 4 visa. Maybe you need to meet less conditions. However, you're not allowed to extend this, and you cannot work part-time or full-time on this visa. You can find out more options on our website under the Visa and International Support section. So when you come to apply for your visa, we have got information and guidance on applying. You may already have done so. If you haven't yet submitted an application, then we do have a practical guide that's available and it sort of takes you through the application process, sort of page by page. So you can also refer to this if you have any questions. Of course, you can also email international support as well, and we are happy to answer any questions you might have about your visa application. So before you arrive, some of the things you need to be aware of. Medical check. If you're in a country that requires a TB check from an approved clinic, then you need to get this certificate before you submit your visa application. There is the website indicated here that you need to check to see whether you're from a country that requires you to take this TB medical certificate. And it has to be from an approved clinic. Some students in the past have got a medical certificate, but it's not been from an approved clinic, and if it's not, your visa would not be granted. Immigration health surcharge. So this is something that came in a few years back. If you're coming for more than 6 months, you'll be required to pay £150 per year of your course, and this allows free access to the health services on the NHS. Your application, your Tier 4 application, will automatically calculate the amount based on the dates that you enter, which are on your CAS. So you don't need to work it out yourself. Just put the dates in as indicated in your CAS, and then it will work it out for you. So accommodation, obviously you probably need to think about getting accommodation. You can get accommodation on arrival. You might want to wait until you get here to look for accommodation, especially if it's private accommodation. This is because not everywhere all sort of landlords or letting agents will accept students who haven't got a UK guarantor, so you may have to wait until you get here. But if you've got family or friends, then they might be able to help when you're looking for accommodation, so it might be an easier thing to do. Obviously we have our own university accommodation. We have 1,500 quiet, safe and comfortable rooms over 4 sites, all based in and around the city centre, and all probably within about 20 minutes bus journey to any of our campuses. So you can apply for our own accommodation if you wish. First year undergraduate students are guaranteed university accommodation, but you have to apply by the guarantee date. Unfortunately, postgraduate students are not guaranteed accommodation, and spaces are allocated on a first come first served basis. So we would suggest you apply as soon as you can if you do want university accommodation. As I said before, many students choose to live in privately rented accommodation. There is lots to choose from in Edinburgh, but demand is very high too. We have got 4 universities, a lot of language schools and several colleges, so you do find that a lot of students looking and searching for accommodation, especially for September. But our accommodation team can help you to begin your search and make sure you have all the information you need, and you can always contact them. Their details are here on the slide, but you can also check out our website for that information. So when should you arrive? We do advise that you should try to arrive before Monday the 10th of September, which is the first day of the academic term. And this means you can then join our Welcome Week activities and your academic induction. We also have a welcome day on the Saturday, the 8th of September. It's quite good to come along to that if you can. Now remember, the latest day of arrival is the 28th of September. If you don't think you're going to make it for the 28th of September, we suggest very strongly that you contact Visa and International Support, and we will let you know whether we can allow an extended arrival date. It's unlikely, but you should let us know, because if you do arrive after the 28th of September and you haven't advised us of this, there's a strong possibility that we will say you will not be able to start your course, and therefore you will have wasted your flight, and you will have to return home. So that's why we advise you to contact us if you really do think you're not going to get your visa and arrive in time for the 28th of September. And remember as well, we do have our meet and greet service at Edinburgh Airport, Friday the 7th of September to Sunday the 9th of September. If you want to take advantage of our free transfer service between those dates, then just email arrivals@napier.ac.uk to book your transfer. And if you do that, we'll make sure there's someone there at the airport to meet you and take you onwards to your accommodation in Edinburgh. If you're not able to take our own our own transfer service because you may be arriving out with the times or out with those dates, you can obviously make your own way into Edinburgh. We have a good tram service that goes directly from the airport into the city centre, as well as our airport bus, and there's also the taxis. The airport is about 12 kilometres from the city centre. Obviously the taxis will cost a little bit more than the tram or the bus. Now if you have booked your accommodation with us in our own student accommodation, key collection takes place on Friday the 7th and Saturday the 8th of September at our Craiglockhart campus, and that's between 10 AM and 5 PM. If you've arranged a private transfer via our transfer company and us, then they will take you, and you're staying in student accommodation, they will take you directly to Craiglockhart from the airport, and then there'll be onward shuttle buses from there. We'd also suggest that you do contact your family and friends as soon as it's possible after you arrive, just to let them know you've arrived safely in the UK. So your first few days in Edinburgh and at the university. So if you've got a Tier 4 visa, you will have received a 30-day entry clearance visa in your passport. And you need to travel to the UK before this expires. And once you've arrived in the UK, you need to collect your BRP as soon as possible. And you'll have a letter telling you when you can collect it and where from. You might also be required to register with the police. This will be indicated on your BRP letter. Again, you need to do this within around 7 days of arriving in the UK. If you have any problems with collecting your BRP, or you don't think you can register with the police within the 7 days, then do contact international support and we will advise you on those two issues. You also need to attend the immigration and finance checks that will be running in the first week or two when you arrive. You need to attend these checks, otherwise you will not be able to go current on our system, and that means you will not have access to anything like Moodle, your emails, etc. So do make sure you attend those immigration and finance checks, and you will receive emails as to when these are taking place with the dates and times and location. So within your first week or two of arriving in the UK, we would suggest that you try and open a bank account as soon as possible. That means you can then get any money transferred over from your home country. Collect your student identity card, or that actually gets posted to you now. We used to get them collected within the university, however we send that now to the address on our record system. If you've got your overseas address on our record system, we would encourage you to update that with your Edinburgh address. That's because this is where it will be sent to. So if we only have an overseas address, then your ID card will be sent there. We also suggest you attend your school academic induction. You could attend the Freshers Week as well, where you get lots of information about things you can do in and around Edinburgh, lots of freebies, things to do with students, etc. So it's quite a good idea to attend the Freshers Week. And again, you should get information about that before you arrive in the UK. You can also find out about student support at the university. We advise you to do that, just in case you need to contact anyone during your stay here. Now, practicalities, we would suggest as well that you try and register with a doctor. You can go onto the NHS 24 website, and when you go on that website you search for a general practitioner. That's what they're called, doctors are called generally within the UK, certainly on the NHS 24 website. You have to put in your Edinburgh postcode if you're staying in Edinburgh, and it will tell you where your the nearest doctor is, and then you can register with them. You will need your student card, passport, visa and proof of address when you register with the doctor. Some students don't necessarily register with the doctor, but we would suggest it's a good idea to do so. If you did become ill, even if it's just a bad flu or something, then if you register with the doctor it makes it a lot easier to get an appointment, and also if you need any medical prescriptions. Now, contents insurance, if you're staying in private accommodation you might want to think about contents insurance. And television licence, you will need what's called a television licence if you have a TV in the UK. And more information on TV licensing is at that website that's on this screen just now. But essentially, if you do have a TV, it will be illegal to watch TV without a TV licence. So help and support at the university, there's lots of teams within the university that can help and support you during your studies at Edinburgh Napier University. Our academic skills team, disability and inclusion, careers and employability, so that's for people who you might be thinking about your future after your studies. You might want to be working in the UK. They're a good team to contact regarding that kind of those kind of questions. Our accommodation team, as mentioned before, hopefully you won't need to contact our accommodation team once you've arrived and are in your own accommodation, but they're still there if you need to ask any questions. And of course we've got our support, counselling and mental well-being teams. As well as that, we've got ENSA, that's Edinburgh Napier Students Association. Their main base is at Murchison campus, but they have drop-in sessions, etc. And they're there to support you, the student, and offer lots of services, sports and societies, and advice for students. We also have the iPoints, located in each of our campuses. They're generally quite often your first point of contact for information, advice and support. And they're generally based at our reception desks. And of course you've got our international team who you may have been in contact with before you arrived in the UK, and our Visa and International Support team, myself and my colleague Kat Morrison. We're here to help you during your stay in Edinburgh, and we can advise on lots of different issues, but we're mainly here to support you with your visa questions, but you can contact us about anything else as well. So, thanks for listening to this pre-arrival presentation. I hope it's helped to answer some questions you might have had. As always, if you have any further questions, then do contact International Support at our contact details here on this slide, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have before you come here or during your stay. But hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you very much.